Germany. This country is known for its rich culture, some questionable history, and its fascination with fire. And we should never forget about their beer. What it isn't really known for is for a good game development, but there are some exceptions. Gothic is definitely one of them. The game was quite popular in Central and Eastern Europe, but not at all in the lands of Uncle Sam. As for the game itself, Gothic 1 is a gold classic, from a time when developers didn't use games as a platform for a popular message. And that tends to destroy their game for a lot of sane people in the process. I believe a lot of developers just wanted to tell a good story with memorable characters and refined game mechanics. The good old days. A lot have changed since then, especially in Germany.
They support a radical form of Islam and reject democracy and freedom. Salafists. It's one of the fastest growing branches of Islam in Germany.
At least till Lindemann hasn't changed. Ah, right, the game. The original Gothic was developed by Piranha Bytes and published by THQ Nordic back in 2001, 23 years ago. I think I was still playing in a sandbox back then. 23 years ago, god damn it. Anyway, I've decided to check how the game holds up today in 2024. Is it worth playing, or has it become completely obsolete? Besides, Gothic Remake is due to be out this year. At least according to Wikipedia. I haven't found the information about it on the developer's official site. It has playable teaser, but I'm not gonna talk about the remake in this video. And I'm not gonna talk about the development process of Gothic 1 either. I wanna show you the game itself, its story, game mechanics, and tell you what it feels like to play it today. But before that, a few things about launching the game. I read some comments about problems with launching it on Steam, but personally I haven't had any issues whatsoever, at least on Windows 11. I haven't tried the GOG version, but as I understand it was always more stable than the Steam version. At the same time, I didn't need to install any patches or fixes, it all works fine without doing any shenanigans on my part. Also, I don't have any mods installed, including the visual ones. So, without further ado, let's dive into the game. The game starts with an exposition about a king of Myrtana, Robert II, who defeated all of his enemies except the orcs. To save his kingdom from a certain defeat and at least to even the odds in the war, he needs magical weapons from special ore that is extracted on a penal colony on the island of Corinis. The ore was mined by the exceptionally high-skilled personnel, everyone's favorite cheap labor, convicts. Welcome to the German fantasy gulag. Because the task of mining the magical ore was crucial for the war effort, it was decided to create a magical barrier to prevent convicts from escaping their prison. But something went wrong, and the barrier trapped everyone inside, including the guards and the magi who had created the barrier. The prisoners didn't hesitate and quickly decided they wanted to know their guardsmen a little bit closer. So the penal colony now was in the convicts' hands. The king had no choice but to negotiate, because without the ore he would definitely lose the war with the orcs. So the agreement has been reached. In exchange for the ore, the convicts would get everything they wanted. Chicks, booze and food. You know, the usual. One day, an unknown prisoner comes to the barrier. We don't know what he did to get there, and I guess it doesn't really matter. But before he gets thrown into the barrier, this happens.
I sentence this convict to...
Stop! Convict, I've got an offer to make you. This letter must reach the leader of the Magicians of Fire.
You're wasting your time.
You may choose your own reward. He'll give you anything you ask for.
Look at this dude.
Very well, I'll take your letter. On one condition. Spare me the rest of his nonsense.
Emotional damage!
How dare you?
Keep silent. Right, send him in.
Welcome to the colony.
Well, at least there was no soap involved.
That's enough. Leave him alone. And now scram! Get up.
And just like that, the game starts. The local Danny Trejo helps us out and tells us about the colony.
I'm Diego. I'm not interested in who you are.
That's what I like about Gothic. The game doesn't treat you like a hero. You're just another convict and nobody cares about you. Our hero doesn't have a name, but I'm gonna call him Mickey. And not because of that greedy mouse. He's Mickey because of Michael Hosh, one of the lead game developers of Gothic. I mean, it's really the same face, almost as identical as members of a K-pop band. So Diego tells us about the situation in the colony. There are 3 camps inside the barrier. Our new Mexican daddy is from the old camp. It is the biggest and strongest settlement in the colony. They are the ones who trade with the king. The Ore Baron Gomez is in charge of the camp. Also, there is a new camp. The mages in charge of it want to destroy the barrier and get free. They are collecting a huge amount of magical ore to detonate the barrier.
That's a great plan, Walter. That's fucking ingenious if I understand it correctly.
And then there is the Swamp Camp. They are a religious sect that prays to their god Sleeper to set them free.
And then there's the sect Loonies in the east. Their camp is in the middle of the swamp, and they're praying to their idol to set them free. He hasn't responded so far.
Eventually we will have to join one of the camps. We cannot choose to join them all. This is not a Bethesda's game.
If there's a way out, I'll find it.
You're already in a rush to get out of here? But you've only just arrived.
And that's the main goal of the game, to get out of the colony. Anyway, after talking to Diego, I've decided to look around for a bit. And I stumbled upon the barrier. Yep, not going back there. So now to the part of the game that I don't like. Controls. They are inconvenient, to say the least. In order to take something from the ground, you need to hold Ctrl and W. Then, if you want to take something from a chest, you need to hold Ctrl plus D. The same way, if you want to put something in a chest, you need to hold Ctrl plus A. You can use left mouse button instead of Control. That's what I do anyway. And the thing is, it also applies to the combat system.
Brutality.
First, you have to lock on your target. Holding Ctrl plus A, W or D lets you to make different types of attacks. Holding Ctrl plus S lets you to block. I don't really like that system, although you're quickly getting used to it. Anyway, near the starting location I found a rusty sword and used it on a mole rat. After that I headed down the hill. There was some overgrown chicken called Scavenger, but they can be dangerous only at the beginning of the game, and even then only in packs. After clearing the territory I headed to the old camp. You can see it in the distance. On the way there I found these 2 hunters.
Do you have some hints for the hunt?
I could teach you a few things, but everything has its price.
Which would be how much?
A good gulp of beer will do to start with, then we'll see.
Right, it's a German game, never forget that.
Here you are, take a beer and tell me about hunting.
Was wollen wir trinken? 7 Tage lang, was wollen wir trinken? So ein Durst.
And here's the best lesson he has for us.
If you manage to strike the beast before it hits you, you have to keep fighting. Then you'll be able to defeat the creature without being hurt yourself. If it hits you first, well, just don't let him.
Okay. Still, he can teach you how to collect furs, claws and teeth from dead animals. After that, you can sell it for a good price. So it is worth it to learn that stuff as early as possible. By the way, these guys are from the new camp. You can recognize them by their blue colors. After that, I decided to hunt a little, but I quickly decided otherwise. The noises are superb. I decided to head straight to the old camp. You see, in Piranha Bytes games you are very weak at the start of the game. So the best way to get some experience and level up is to do some easy side quests. Still, you can farm some easy mobs if you want to. Anyway, a guard stops us near the camp, and that's why Gothic was so popular. Your answers actually matter. If you want to, you can actually pick up a fight with the guard. Or you can tell him that Diego sent you and get in. I chose to be beaten but not broken.
Sure, I plan to take on the whole camp.
Hey, this guy's funny. I don't like funny guys. Try that again, and you'll regret it.
Shoot him!
It's fine, I'll get my revenge later. Finally, I entered the old camp.
Hot diggity dog! This place is magnificent.
The guards don't let us into the castle where the mages are, so we talk to their leader, Thoros.
I need to get into the castle. I have a letter here for the High-Fire Mage.
And you expect me to let you stroll inside the castle to hand it over and collect your reward?
Of course, it's never that easy. Although the old camp's rules are quite simple. If we want to get into the castle, we need to join the camp. In order to do that, we need to have a patron. I think you've already guessed who that's gonna be. After playing hard to get, Thoros gives us our first mission. We have to get rid of Mordrak, a rogue from New Camp.
He's been stealing from the ore barons. Of course, that applies to a lot of the rogues in the new camp. But this guy has the nerve to come to our camp and sell our stolen goods to our boys.
Thoros can't get rid of him himself, because Mordrak is a courier for the mages.
I want you to make sure I never see his face around here again. I don't care how you do it.
Of course, there is another way to get into the castle. We can simply bribe Thoros and his guys.
So tell me, how much?
1,000 nuggets should be enough.
1,000 nuggets?
As an example, 100 bottles of beer worth 1,000 ore. Not really a price I'm willing to pay. By the way, it's quite logical for them to have ore as local currency. It's exchanged on the goods they need from the king. So yeah, quite logical step by the developers. I like it. Next we talk to Diego and tell him about our situation.
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Yeah, Diego is the best. So after that, Diego literally tells us to make a name for ourselves. To do that, we should impress important people in the camp, but he doesn't really tell us who they are.
As for the others, you'll have to find that out by yourself. If you don't manage to do that, you don't belong here anyway.
And he also has another task for us. In order to prove our loyalty, we need to go to the old mine and get a list of supplies from a guy named Ian.
No problem.
Yes, there is a problem. The new camp must not get that list. Like I said, the list is important. If you do it right, you'll get much further.
So we can already see a choice before us. We can either help the old or the new camp. And a few words about the leveling system in Gothic. When you level up, you gain 10 skill points. You can spend these skill points with a trainer. Yes, you need to have a trainer in order to learn something. I rather like this system.
Can you teach me something?
Yes, I can teach you to improve your dexterity or your strength.
Some people never learn.
Near the main entrance to the camp I have found Balturan. He is from the swamp camp, and he gave us the best description of his community.
If you take the weed which grows in the swamp, you will be close to the sleeper and able to hear him. Some people even see images.
I see.
He also said that if we want to travel to his camp, we need to talk to Baal Parves. And who the hell is that? Well, this guy sure looks suspicious.
Hey, you!
God, I hate camera angles in this game. Anyway, this is Bloodwind, one of the guardsmen. and he wants us to pay him protection money, but our Mickey is a proud man and of course he refused to pay it.
You mean you want me to pay protection money? No thanks. I can take care of myself.
Have it your own way, kid. You'll soon regret turning down a friendly offer.
Yeah, we should remember that guy. Also, there was cartographer Graham nearby. He had some pretty interesting maps. Well, not only maps. It was a shame to blur that German art. After that, we found one of Diego's shadows, Sly. He also had a job for us.
You have a job for me? What is it?
One of our guards has disappeared. He's called Neck. If you find him, I'll speak up for you in the camp.
So we found our first important person that Diego was talking about. There was also a funny guy with a perfect voice acting nearby.
It all started when I built my hut. Don't build your hut close to the ditch, they said. But none of these bastards told me what would happen if I still did it. When I came back from the mine a few days ago, I had a second door. Those pigs, I hate them. I can't tell you how much I hate them.
I'm telling you, camera angles in this game can be funny sometimes. It didn't take us long to find some trouble. This guy didn't like that we hadn't paid protection money to Bloodwin.
Yeah, it was real cool of you to refuse to pay him protection money. It means we're all gonna have to pay your share as well. I'll make sure you remember next time he asks you.
I'll be honest, first time he kicked my ass. And here I saw something really impressive. NPC can actually rob you in this game.
That's happening over and over again. Thanks for the ore, you hero.
Not bad, not bad.
Of course we got our revenge, but then this happened.
Why are you running? Why are you running? Ah, a fight!
He has finished him off! Hey, you. I learned you didn't want to pay protection money to Bloodwin.
Seriously, man. I was looting him.
Bloodwin paid some people. They're gonna do you in. I saw how he talked to people like Herrick over there, and God knows who else he hired.
Your warning about Herrick is a bit late.
Walking through the camp, we found some washed-up digger resting on his bench.
How's it going?
I've spent the last 2 weeks working in the mine. All I want is peace. Get out of my sight.
You wake up when the alarm goes off. You go to your job. Sorry. My boss.
Near Marketplace we found another job. A guy named Whistler wanted to buy an ornament sword from a local merchant. He couldn't buy the sword himself because he had some disagreements with the merchant.
I'll give you 100 ore to collect the weapon for me, but don't tell him about me.
Did you ever consider that I might just run off with the ore?
Don't forget, the colony is small. If you run off with my ore, I'll find you.
Simple enough job. The beautifully voiced trader was chilling at the marketplace.
Hey man, I'm Fisk. I trade goods of all kinds.
Without telling Fisk anything about Whistler, we bought the sword and gave it to him.
I have your sword.
Wasn't too hard, was it? Whatever. You do me a favor and I'll do you one. If Diego should ask after you, I'll speak in your favor. Until then, have a good time.
Near the marketplace, a guy named Dexter called us out. No, not that Dexter, unfortunately.
Hey, you! I trade in swamp weed and potions from the sect camp. Do you want something?
Imagine being a wheat seller in a prison. He must be as rich as an Arabian prince. Anyway, no wonder he's another important person here. And he's got a job for us.
In the sect camp, there's a man called Kalam, quite a big shot. One of the gurus of the sect. Kalam is an alchemist. He has the recipe for an effective healing potion.
As you might have guessed, we need to steal it.
Maybe I'll have to pay for the recipe. Give me 50 ore as an advance payment.
Forget it.
After haggling for some time with Dexter, we got our ore, which we immediately spent on weed. While trying the produce, I was quite surprised it increased my mana. I guess in this universe Snoop Dogg would have been an archmage. Near the second gate we found the guy who thought us wanted out of the camp. but I decided to visit him later. We still hadn't explored all of the camp. I also found some meat bags nearby, but they appeared to be too strong for me. The next guy that we stumbled upon was Fletcher. He told us about Neck, and we've already got a mission to find him. But Fletcher doesn't know where he is. No worries though, because a local cook nearby gave us a mission to find some ingredients for him.
You must be used to good food. I have a new recipe. Meat bug ragu a la snaff with rice and mushrooms.
Yeah, boy.
He also said this about the last man he sent for the ingredients.
Who was the guy you sent before me?
His name was Neck. He was pretty discontented here. I think he's in the new camp now. I sent him to collect mushrooms, but he didn't come back.
Bearing this in mind, we headed to complete both missions, find Neck and find the ingredients for the cook. But before that, we found a guy named
Finger,
who could teach us how to become a thief.
Learn a thief's skill. You need to become more skilled in sneaking around, pickpocketing, or opening locks. Then you'll have my vote.
No problem, I was planning to do it anyway, but later. And yeah, we found an annoying guy near the cook. How could I forget?
Man, new here? I haven't seen you before. I'll join you for a while, if you don't mind. I'm sure you'll need a friend.
What? Mickey needs no friends.
Get lost.
You're not in a good mood today, are you? I better come with you. Tell me, where are we going? Or is it supposed to be a surprise? I like surprises.
If you couldn't tell already, he's the predecessor of the adoring fan in Test for Oblivion. And yes, he was too annoying to keep him nearby.
This is real fun. Thanks for taking me with you. We could do that more often. There's loads of more time left today.
Put the weapon.
Hey, man, you hit me. What was that for?
I'll hit you again in a second. I'm into that.
You're a lunatic, man. I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Ah, that's better.
Anyway, Neck was pretty easy to find. I just followed the path of mushrooms. There was a cave with some mole rats near it. A dead body inside of the cave was easily identified because of the amulet on it. I mean, how that guy could have protected anyone in the camp if he couldn't even handle some mole rats? After that, we fought some scavengers nearby, luring them one by one. Climbed up a mountain, found a hermit in a cave, fell down the mountain and got back to the old camp using the main entrance. Now that's what I call a busy day. Our next day started with cooking some meat. And yes, you can cook in this game. I only wish I could cook so fast in real life. This guy Bloodwin again.
Hey, you!
Now what?
The time's come for you to prove you're a true friend. Just 10 ore and you're in. What do you say?
See ya.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
Take care of yourself, kid.
Well, now we can complete Sly's mission.
I found Nick.
Good. Have you got any evidence for that?
I found this amulet on him. Here you go.
It was actually the amulet the whole thing was about. You're a clever guy. If Diego asks me about you, I'll vote in your favor.
Next, we brought the news about Neck to Fletcher.
I think I found him.
What? Where is he?
Feeding the rats?
Oh, no! Damn it!
And then I decided if you wanted to gain some XP by fighting animals, it would be better to learn some hunting skills. So we headed back to our old beer-loving hunter. And the thing is, teachers in this game actually talk about what they teach. It's quite immersive if you ask me.
Show me how to take off the claws.
Actually, it's quite simple if you know what to do. Bend the claws forward, never backwards. And you mustn't pull them out either.
So now we can earn additional money by selling trophies. Nice. It's not the most efficient way to earn money in this game, but it's close second. So I guess it's hunting time. But you know, it's one thing to hunt down some scavengers, and it is a completely different thing to hunt down something more dangerous. It is possible to kill a wolf at this stage of the game using good timing and stun locking him. But why bother? Mickey is too weak right now. He just needs to work out more. Exploring the map, we found another hunter, Cavalorn. We could trade with him, and more importantly, he could teach us how to sneak.
Keep in mind what I told you, and above all, never get caught.
Maybe you're looking for something particular.
I decided to look around nearby, but then...
Hello there.
It's probably best to stop hunting. Coming back to the old camp, I decided that we should test out our new skills.
If you think.
But keep it to yourself.
Hold it!
What's up?
You can't go in the castle. Beat it!
Perfect. After that, we went to
Finger
and gained his approval.
You've learned something which makes you quite useful to us. We can make use of skilled thieves in this camp here.
Well, he said it himself. I wasn't pulling his tongue. Then we got some experience for giving Snav his ingredients, and I decided it was a good time to complete Thoros' mission. In order to do that, we need to get rid of Mordrag. For that, we just need to escort him to the new camp. Of course, we can just simply kill him, but he's a pretty good fighter. Besides, there is no point of doing that. So the new camp it is.
Let's go to the new camp.
Okay, follow me.
And now we can abuse him as a companion. The thing is, we get all the XP even if he kills an enemy, and that might be pretty handy. Anyhow, we reached the new camp almost by the nightfall.
Well, here we are. When you pass through the gate, you'll reach the new camp. Talk to Laras. He will help you. Give this to him. It's a precious ring. It's your ticket to see Laras. You need a good reason to be allowed to meet him.
But it's not yet time to go there. Actually, it was a perfect time to make some money. You see, the best way of earning money in Gothic involves not respecting private property. Is our Mickey a communist? So, because the old camp is the richest one, we headed back there. Along the way, we told Thoros about Mordrag.
He's never going to show his face around here again.
I'd have felt happier if you'd killed him.
But before we even tried to get rich, this guy interrupted us.
Hey you! Aren't you the guy who wants to join the camp?
He said that there were 2 thieves just outside of the camp, and he needed our help to beat them up and take their stolen goods for ourselves. Well, why not?
I'm ready to go with you. Let's get the amulet.
Okay, let's do it then.
But there appeared to be some minor problems.
So, here we are, far away from your friend Diego. I'm to send you regards from Bloodwind.
These motherfuckers. 6 times they beat my ass. 1 time Mickey even drowned.
Thanks for the ore. I'll drink to you.
But at last, local Gopniks have been beaten. Turns out, it was all because we refused to pay protection money to Bloodwind.
That I should whack you, of all people, is your own fault, really. Why did you have to start a bloody fight with the guards?
After showing our dominance once again, we finally returned to our original mission. So how does lockpicking work in this game, you ask me? You just press left and right and try to guess the combination of a lock. And if you lost all of your lockpicks, you can just save scam because the combination stays the same. It's quite an easy system. At first I tried a stealth approach, but I quickly understood it wasn't necessary. Most of the time NPCs care only how long you stay in their house, and they don't care if you manage to rob them in that time. Of course, you may say that the game is not realistic in that aspect. Surely, this cannot happen in real life, right? Who knows, maybe Horinus is located somewhere in California. It is an old game, and of course there are some funny moments during the heist.
Don't try that again.
You've taught him a lesson.
Well, it only took 50 minutes to rob the whole camp.
How often have I told you bastards not to run through my hut?
But everything good eventually comes to an end, just like this episode of Mickey's Adventures in the Penal Colony. Thank you for watching it and have a great day.